It's certainly evening now. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Well, good night, actually. I'm not saying good night. It's the shortest podcast ever. My name is Ryan McGinley. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Tony Haggerty on the Celtic Way YouTube page, X page, and Facebook page. St Johnstone 0, Celtic 6. Reaction: the champions flex their muscles as Rodgers' side slay the Saints. Goals from, let me think back, a double from Kyogo. Yes, I'm going to just bring it up. That's a perfect way to describe it. Rip roaring, free scoring, never boring, Glasgow Celtic. Tony, I think you would agree with that. Goals from Kyogo, a double from Kyogo. I need to go through them all, actually. A double from Kyogo. Diaz Maeda scored one. Paulo Bernardo scored one. The captain, Callum McGregor, Adam Ida. And so 4 different goal scorers. A tremendous night's work for Brendan Rodgers' side. A real sort of 90-minute performance, you would say. And Tony, where do you start with that?
I think by the end, there is an expression sometimes, playing exhibition football. That last goal from Adam Ida was like watching the Harlem Globetrotters. Celtic really turned on the style, didn't they? And the fans were singing, we're piling on the agony, turning on the style. This is a team that is purring now. They're starting to motor, they're starting to click through the gears. And today, the floodlights have just went off, guys. There you go. The one negative and dampener on the night. But, that Celtic performance was a joy to watch. And you're looking at it thinking, and they're going to get better. The manager told you that. And everything, from the moment they took the lead, it was just perfection. And the manager said it was a bit of a perfect night. First commenter, rip roaring, free scoring, never boring, Glasgow Celtic, as I often want to say. It truly was. It was terrific.
It certainly was. Yeah, where do you want to start with the goals and the performances? Because I think to a man, every player that took to the field tonight was absolutely tremendous. I think you'll see that in my player ratings that will either go out later tonight or early doors tomorrow. I think there'll be a lot of 7, 8s, maybe even a couple of 9s out of 10 for that performance. I thought that to a man, there was so many good players on the night. Kyogo with a double, Adam Ida getting on the score sheet as well, both your strikers scoring. Kuhn with another 2 assists. Yeah. He's now, I think he's up to 12 goal contributions. 13, unlucky for some, lucky for Nicholas Kuhn. We are straying into incredible numbers for Nicholas Kuhn right now, the German winger. He is doing incredible things on that right wing alongside Alistair Johnson, and also guys like Austin Trusty, who I thought Austin Trusty was, and Brendan Rodgers was wanting to bring that up as well. He thought he was unlucky for the Diaz Maeda goal that wasn't given, but at the same time, Diaz Maeda did get his goal at the end of the game, the 5th out of the 6 goals, and it was a well taken header from the Japanese winger. So where do you want to start with the players?
You can get through them all, can't you? Kasper Schmeichel equalled the record, didn't he? 6 clean sheets out of 6. If he goes to Dingwall next week and does the same, he will own that record outright. It's existed since 1906-07. Greg Taylor, what sumptuous cross in for Kyogo's header. The pace is all on the ball. Alistair Johnson, he loves a long pass, doesn't he? Him and Kuhn are just excellent down the right hand side. Austin Trusty, that's the Austin Trusty I wanted to see last week. Really liked what he brought to the table today. Very unlucky for see that goal by Diaz Maeda disallowed for a so-called foul by him.
A shocking decision, by the way.
Liam Scales was terrific. It was just, it was, to quote Kenneth Wolstenholme from 1966, it was sheer delightful football. Sorry, from 1970. When Brazil scored the goal, I think it was Carlos Alberto's goal.
I was wondering what 1966 game you were talking about, Tony. I think you'll get yourself cancelled on this podcast.
Kenneth Wolstenholme said when Carlos Alberto scored the 4th Brazil goal, it was sheer delightful football. I think every Celtic supporter would admit that today. Yeah. That was sheer delightful football at times. And I know you take into account the opposition, but that's what you do to teams who are managerless and rudderless and are in a fight of their own. That's not Celtic's concern. You put them to the sword. And 33 goals in the last 9 league games, I think. That's Celtic's record at the minute. And it's only going to get better. And you get into that midfield. And I thought Engels was actually one of the quieter players today. Mm-hmm. But McGregor, another low driller. He's picking his spot here, isn't he?
I think we're
at
getting to
times.
this point, Tony, to be honest with you, that in Rodgers' first season, do you remember that there was like 4 or 5 candidates for the player of the year, and Celtic had 4 of them, and the 5th player joined Celtic that summer, in Johnny Hayes. There was another, I think it was 3, I think it was 4 players, and 3 of them were Celtic players. The other one was Johnny Hayes, obviously. He rejoined with Brendan Rodgers in the summer. I'm going to lose my voice as well. Yeah, just talk about the goal scorers, basically, Tony.
And I... You all right?
Keep on talking.
Yeah, and the goal scorer. I mean, what can you say about the goals? All the goals were terrific. Kyogo finally ran through 1-on-1 and scored, thankfully. But what a header from Kuhn! What an intelligent header to send him on his way, and he's buried that. That's the Kyogo of old. Buried that brilliantly, and then the second goal. I wrote it in my instant analysis. The new man who scores belters all the time, Paulo Bernardo. You said maybe his hair's not the same as the old Stuart Armstrong, but listen, and I asked him afterwards, and he said, didn't he? You'll see the video actually at 10:30. You'll see his reaction to my question when I asked him about scoring belters all the time, and he found that quite funny, didn't he? Took it the way I would expect someone to take that. And so you're 2 up in jig time, and then Kyogo cushion header, but what a cross from Taylor! All the paces on the cross, you just have to meet that and guide it in with your head. Callum McGregor draws another goal of the month contender. No, sweet strike. Brilliant. And then Paulo Bernardo pick out for Dizamida, whose effort in the industry deserved a goal. Manager singled him out. 86 minutes, he's still chasing down players. And you said it was actually Luke McCown. He got him mixed up.
Yeah, my voice is fine now. Yeah, I will give Luke McCown the credit he deserves. That was definitely Luke McCown that was running down, because I noticed him starting to motor. I was like, there's Luke McCown coming. And he actually manages to get the interception, which is a massive shout from the crowd.
Alex Valle's 5-a-side touch for the final goal. That's just a brilliant goal. And that's 5-a-side stuff. That's what I was talking about. That's when you're straying into exhibition football territory, because that's a real. And also the finish by Adam Ida's really clever. It's another 5-a-side finish. It's the using of the foot to wrong foot the goalkeeper and not slam it off the goalkeeper, but making sure you score. That's all technique, and you're doing that in a split second, because that ball goes through. Alex Valle back heels it, and that lovely volleyed, cushioned back heel to your man. And Adam Ida just switches his feet, and the goalkeeper's wrong-footed, and it's in the bottom corner. 6, absolutely tremendous performance. So it's just great that there's goals all over that team, Ryan. But that's what we said. That we said the game would be won with the front 6, didn't we? McGregor, Engels, and Bernardo, Maeda, Kuhn, and Kyogo, and it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tremendous performance by most players, if not all of the players on the park. There's not a single player that I can think of. Even Kasper Schmeichel, who had that great save from Essel in the second half. Yeah, it was a close. It was a really, really good save. He's not aged a bit. You know, there was talk when he was coming to Celtic that maybe he was an aging goalkeeper. You know, older than Joe Hart, etc. He's not lost any of his reflexes, because that was a great save from Schmeichel.
So easy for your confidence levels just to drop, because you've had nothing to do, and he had nothing to do.
No, he had the best view in the house today.
Make sure that he saves that low down his left. Make sure palms it away. So, and I was just delighted the way Celtic treated the game. I think the manager said afterwards to was it Premier Sports the game was on.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted a Champions League mentality for this game. He got that and then some. And as I said, it's not preposterous to think that Celtic can go to the Signal Iduna Arena and get something, is it? This time last year, the manager was ranting and raving at his players. They had to come from behind to win 3-1, and it was the angriest he said he'd ever been. Just contrast those two performances. It is stark. It is one end of the spectrum to another, and in a good way. There's strength and depth in this squad. There's goals all over the place. There are players busting a gut to be in that starting 11, Ryan. Every one of them wants to start and take it as a personal slur if they don't, which is what you want.
Hunger for play.
Team. I mean, and Sullivan manages to keep them happy. Adam Ida comes on. These guys don't sulk. They want to come on and play a part and help their teammates.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, and that camaraderie is brilliant. And, the manager said before and said it a few times, they're in a good place.
You can definitely tell that they're definitely in a good place. You can see with the way that they were responding to the crowd. I thought the crowd were absolutely sublime tonight. You're going to get that with a later kick-off. I think with the crowds, it's kind of obvious that the crowds are going to be a bit noisier if it's later on in the day. I'll let you put all that together, to be honest. But I thought the crowd were tremendous. They really rallied round the team. And from very early on, even when Daisen Maeda's goal was disallowed, which was, in my opinion, was wrongly disallowed, thanks to the intervention of Trusty, or rather the St Johnstone marker bumped into Trusty and somehow got the. I don't understand. I don't understand the decision, but it's a footnote. It's a side note in all of this, to be honest. Because if anything, I think
it from being 7-0, right?
But I also think that it went as far to say that it angered Celtic, that they were annoyed that they didn't go ahead, and they actually took their anger out on St Johnstone.
Did a 3-goal burst in 10 minutes after that goal rang.
Yeah, and they came off the park. We've seen it at half time. They came off with a swagger, as if, right, but the job's only half done. We need to go and do it in the second half. Yeah. 3 goals in the first half, 3 goals in the second half, 6-0. I predicted 5-0. Delighted to be wrong. In the past 4 games, Celtic have managed 16 goals. They are averaging, no, not 16 goals, 18 goals. That is an unbelievable. That's Bayern Munich numbers at the moment, what they're doing to teams in the Bundesliga. Yeah. And it just so happens that they're playing against a Bundesliga team next in Dortmund.
Yeah, and bring it on. This time last year, a tie against the Champions League runners-up would have filled you with dread and fear.
Without a doubt.
And, and in years gone past, Celtic are equipped for these games now. That's no guarantee that they're going to get a result, or going to win, or draw, or come away with anything positive, but they are going there in the most positive frame of mind. You cannot go there in any better fettle or any better shape. Cameron Carter-Vickers the one we're all waiting on. But I think Austin Trusty today alongside Scales, you think, okay, the opposition will be ratcheted up several notches because they are a team competing at the highest level. We get that, but he showed today, right, you can be trusted if Cameron Carter-Vickers doesn't make that game to slot in alongside Liam Scales and do a job.
Austin Trusty can be trusted. These headlines write themselves for Big Austin, but I thought he was immense tonight. I know for a defender, he didn't have much to do. He kept a clean sheet, so that's a positive in itself. But I actually thought I took the time because I knew that Celtic were winning the game. We didn't need to worry about certain things, about watching other things. Yeah. We knew that the result was effectively sealed at half time. So I took the time in the second half to watch his distribution with the ball at his feet. I've heard a lot of things. I heard a lot of things from Sheffield United supporters, from people down south that said this guy cannot pass a ball to save himself. I've seen player radars, and I do take these radars into consideration when I'm watching a player, but it's 50-50. It's the eye test as well. And I've seen a player that can effectively pass with the ball at his feet to other players. And I was delighted to see that.
You make your own judgment on a player when you watch a player, Ryan, when you see him in the flesh, or you see him on telly, I guess, as well. But that's... you can canvass the opinions of whoever you want until you see a player performing. And you know a player when you see one, you've watched enough football, and it's your profession to watch football and, pick out players. So, as I said last week, I wasn't too harsh on Trusty. I was just disappointed because I expected that.
More, yeah.
I expected that level of performance because I know it's in him. Clearly in him because you saw it today. So that I wondered why. But then you allow for the whole of the back four, strangers to each other. I get all that, but there he's in slotting alongside Scales, and lots of comments coming in about Scales saying he was strolling it and he was unbelievable today. Again, another man who's at the top of his game and relishing going to Dortmund. And I think these players and the manager will drill them, and they're top players as well. Mm-hmm. Go and relish that challenge. You're at one of European football's, most renowned venues.
It's a cauldron. It is a cauldron you're going into.
Yeah, the yellow wall and all that. 81,000. Brilliant. If that's not what you want to play in your football career, you're in the wrong job. And if you can't go into this on Tuesday night with your chest puffed out, thinking, I also play for a good team, we're going to go toe to toe and put our wits against you and see where it goes, then it's not for you. So let's go there and with head held high, and and all you can do is do your best. You can only give 100%. You've heard me bang on about that before. Not 110, not 200. 100%. And if you give that and you come off that field, there's a high chance you might get a positive result.
You never know. You've got to be in it to win it, Tony. You've got to be in it to win it.
And the manager's words were, why not? Why not?
He said that twice. Yeah, he's like, why not? Why not? Go and do it and
So
go
why
and...
not?
Yeah,
Why not?
absolutely.
And as I say, none of this equates to you have to go there and perform. But my goodness, those players will be busting a gut to perform. The confidence they'll get from the results like today, but just the way the team is playing and the general feeling about the club, they are purring and they're going to get better and they're going to improve.
Yeah. I don't think it's the last time they'll hit a team for 5 or 6 this season. It's happened
No
before.
chance.
It will happen again. It might even be... absolutely, why not? 3 times, says Derek. Thank you. Is there anything else that you want to discuss? I just want to say a quick thank you to all of our YouTube members that have joined us. If you want to support us just a little bit more, you can join us for just £2.99 a month. You'll receive early video access, priority comments, and exclusive members chat function. If you click that join button just next to the subscribe button on your desktop, you can join us for £2.99 a month. And we thank everybody for doing so already. Tony, is there anything else that you want to discuss about the game? I thought there was so many good performances today. Callum McGregor just been... Is this? I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out to you. Is this the best you've ever seen Callum McGregor play in this stretch of games since that international retirement? Has he played at a higher level than this? If so, can he get back to that level that we're talking about?
Do you know what? I'm one of the few people who think Callum McGregor has been the boss of Scottish football for long and weary. He just, there's a bar that Callum McGregor sets, and again, it's so high that he takes it personally if he ever slips below it, and he slipped below it a couple of times, last year, and he was really annoyed about it. But Callum McGregor, alongside many others, is the role model of consistency in this team. He's a fulcrum of that team, and he sets the standards, and he's been absolutely immense. Talking about players like Engels, is he the best midfielder and all that? Too early for that. Callum McGregor is your yardstick. Martin O'Neill famously said when he took the job at Celtic, Rangers were the benchmark. See any player coming into Celtic, Callum McGregor's a benchmark.
Yeah, he's a benchmark, but he sets the standards also because he's the captain. He drives it completely. And if you go below those standards, and we know about that because of the documentary that we've seen, he will tear into people who don't meet those standards. He is passionate. He is the embodiment of what it means to be a Celtic player and a Celtic midfielder, and he drives it forward. And that's the reason why Celtic have been successful. I don't think they win nearly as many of these trophies without Callum McGregor leading that midfield, or the base of the midfield.
And the great thing is he's now fully concentrated on his Celtic career. How old is he? 31?
Yeah, 31.
This guy can play, he's 35, playing like that easily at that level.
And then you can manage his game time when he gets to that point.
Because he looks after himself. And that's why he's looked after himself, because he wants longevity in his career. And I think the more you think he's going to give it up, or he's going to call it a day, Callum McGregor will be like, nah, I'm still good to go. And you look at him in days like today and you think, you are good to go. You can go on for a considerable amount of time. And Callum McGregor would be the first one to say, I can't, players know. And he's getting a new lease of life with this, under this manager, and having quit the internationals set up. Watching guys like Engels come in, brilliant player. Bernardo coming in, another brilliant player. And then thinking to yourself, right, I've got trusted lieutenants now. Hatate, brilliant player. All these guys are at the top of their game.
Yeah, I'm just going to bring up this comment ever so quickly. Taylor had a slight knock that he came off. He was feeling something in the first half. Perfect opportunity to take him off. There's no point in risking him anymore. The game was over. You might as well play Bailly. And you know what? If Bailly didn't come on, then we wouldn't have got that. Arguably the assist of the season, and there has been a few great assists from Celtic players. It's going to take some doing. I think Luke McCown was actually quite annoyed at Bailly for not taking the shot on. He was like, why didn't you give me the assist by taking the shot? He'll still get a key pass, don't you worry about that, Luke McCown. You will be credited with a key pass on that. I'm sure there'll be quite a few key passes from tonight, just due to the fact that there's 6 goals. I think I'm looking forward to seeing the stats and all of that as well. Is there anything else you want to discuss, Tony, before we head off?
Just wanted to flag up the Grand Old Team Pod coming out tomorrow, I believe.
It's coming, guys. It's coming tomorrow.
So, yeah. And for those that are asking, we're not in Alcatraz, no. A couple of comments having a laugh there. We're at the back of St Johnstone's main stand, just below where the press box is. It's the only place that's got light. And yeah, we decided we would come on. It's 10:15 at night, but we wanted to come on and talk to you guys about this performance. We'll talk more about it on Monday, but we know how after a performance like this, it doesn't matter how many Celtic win by or the way they turn up, but you guys want to come on. I mean, there's nearly 500 people joining us live as well, so can't thank you enough for that, guys. We put our heart and soul into it, and you guys always turn up. And we thank you for that immensely.
Can't do it without you guys. We really appreciate it. If you want to support us again, click that join button, £2.99 a month, and become a YouTube member. Thanks very much, guys, for watching us. We thought it was going to be a quick show, 20 minutes. Still managed to get 20 minutes in talking about all the... We'll be back.
We're at the mercy of people throwing us out, so we don't want to outstay our welcome because we've ran away with the points. We've scalped them for 6, and I think there's people, willing to switch the lights out on us just to be Celtic.
It's time that it's
Johnstone today. Yeah.
It's time for us to head home now. Yeah, but we're happy knowing that Celtic have got another 3 points, another 6 goals to add to that goal difference, which I believe has them on plus 20 at this moment. I'm just going to bring this up. Mark McQueen, thank you again. That's 2 donations you've had tonight, and we really do appreciate it, Mark. Thank you ever so much. He was mentioning Engels in his first donation. Second one is Bernardo. I think that it's great for the donations, and it's just a top quality midfield at this moment in time. Thank you very much, guys, for joining us tonight. We will be back on Monday morning at 10 alongside Hamish to dissect everything, as well as get ready and look forward to the Borussia Dortmund game. Yeah, bring it as they said.
Can't wait.
And as the Celtic supporters said, we're having a party in the Champions League. Celtic certainly had a party at McDermott Park tonight. 6-0 was the scoreline, and I think everybody's pretty happy on this Saturday night. Thanks very much, guys, and we will speak to you all in the next.